Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another weekly update. Hope everybody's having a lovely weekend. And with that being said, who's ready to get into some TA? Guys, we got real freaking exciting stuff going into next week. I'm just going to start the video off by saying that. All right, guys, so we're going to start off with the weekly charts. We're going to scale down to the daily charts. We're going to go over our outlook for the week, some paths that we could, potentially be seeing this week. We're going to try and at least have two different scenarios, okay? And then on top of that, we have an absolute crap ton of tickers that are ready to explode, all right? So if you want the A+ setups, those are going to be in the second half of the video, but we're going to dive right into the indices to start off, all right? Right off the bat, guys, let's review what we were looking for last week, all right? So coming into this week, we were looking for the pullback into either SPY's previous all-time high, or we were looking for the pullback into QQQ's all-time high. We didn't know which one was going to be defended, but we were looking for buyers to hold one of those. It does look like we got exactly what we were, looking for this week, all right? So I will be honest, we got taken for a freaking ride, all right? They sold you right through it. It was looking real freaking aggressive. Real aggressive on Friday, all right? But in the end, buyers showed up in spades. Buyers defended exactly what we were paying attention to, and that is what we needed to keep this bullish structure going. Potentially, guys, this is just going to be a higher low into a higher high, and then we're going to be coming up to these levels right here. So my targets going into this week, we're actually going to say the upcoming 2 weeks, my targets over here on SPY are going to be 536 and 543.50. All right, we're gonna call it 543 and 536. QQQ, what are the targets going into the coming 2 weeks? 463 and 472. I know, guys, it's pretty up there. I understand that. All right, I understand. I'm not saying we're actually going to get up here to 472 on QQ. I don't know if that's going to happen, all right? But I do think 463 is about to be tapped potentially this week, all right? That is only a 3% move. And quite frankly, guys, we got an absolute crap ton of volatility last week. We have, we have the potential here to see this sized move, all right? We can get that 3% move. It's not out of the question, okay? All right, so now, let's come down to the daily time frame now that we went over, guys. Keep in mind, all right? Keep in mind, when you have a big pullback like that and then you bust up to a new high, it is very freaking unlikely that you are now going to just immediately have another large correction off that. No, guys, we're in a bull market. This is bullish structure. You get your correction, you bust it up, okay? Notice how you continuously made these weekly lower highs, all right? You got a low. You have a lower high. Okay, which might I add, guys, where'd that form, guys? At the golden pocket. If we were going to get that scenario, it would have happened right here in the golden pocket. That is when we flipped and we were like, okay, guys, we're going back to bull, all right? The Henry show is definitely going to be, bullish bias over here. Why? Because of what I just described, all right? You broke up to the new high. If sellers are going to be stepping in, it's probably going to be at these golden pockets, all right? Guess what? That was not the case. Okay, it was not the case this time around. It was not. This time around, you bust up to new high, and when you bust up to new high, all right, well, what happened? You broke this high right here. You continued higher, all right? And then you had a major breakout to new high up here, okay? And then you busted up to a new all-time high. And then what happened when you did that one? You went way higher. Now we just did that same exact thing that we just went over. We just did that again, all right? And quite frankly, you couldn't have closed this week out any more bullishly than this. It's really, it's as simple as that, guys. You have a weekly hammer candlestick on SPY and QQQ over here off of the previous all-time highs. This is sexy, all right? You come over here to the daily time frame, all right? Keep in mind, that was the larger time frame we take a look at. We also did have the monthly candlestick close out with a bullish engulfing candlestick. That's definitely something to take note of. Come over here to QQQ. What do you also have? You have a bullish engulfing candlestick. I understand you got the top wick here, but guess what? You had a top wick over here. You had a top wick over there. All of these had wicks on them. All right? Quite frankly, guys, you can't have a better look than this. You can't. And we're going higher. The thing's busting up to a new all-time high next week. It's extremely likely, and I'll say that confidently. All right? I was a little on the edge on Friday, guys. I didn't know what was going to happen. When I make the intraday updates, it's usually because I see something. All right? So I made the early update because guess what? You had SPY doing this. All right, guys, it doesn't get down here unless it slingshots back up. QQQ was doing this. It doesn't get down here unless it slingshots back up. And I was, very vocal in that video. Guys, I don't know if this thing's that, they're going to keep falling lower, but you got a lot of these charts showing the same thing. You got Microsoft at the lowest possible, hourly RSI that I could see on, my TradingView subscription over here. All right. It doesn't, get better than this if you are, a dip buyer. It really didn't. You were going to have that snap back, whether it was here or you're going to bounce and then go a little lower, put in a bullish divergence. Now you have so much room for a bullish divergence, but I'm going to say, guys, after that move, I highly doubt that move is going to be faded. All right. I don't know what the heck was behind this thing, but what the flipping flopping on all of these charts, you exploded. All right. And we got some massive A+ setups going into the coming week. All right. A little sneak peek right here. What the heck is this? All right, guys. We were looking for the retest of this trend line. All right. Well, I wasn't going to say I was necessarily looking for it. You were either going to be bullish above this level right here, 482.50, and then you could look for these gray levels. These were going to be TPs. All right. Or you come back and you retest this downtrend. You retest the downtrend. And quite frankly, guys, all right, you already, you swept the lows over here. You swept for some liquidity to give you the move up. All right. People were bearish. Okay. People were like, oh, no, it's the bull thesis is gone. I didn't actually see that, but, I definitely saw a lot of bearish posts on Twitter that day. And quite frankly, guys, no, things ended up coming back in spades. And did I think you were going to get this massive freaking explosion end of the day? No, it looked very freaking gruesome, all right? But you did. And the charts did close out how the charts closed out. And that's why I was trying not to make any, any predictions in that video, any projections on where this thing could be going. All right. I didn't want to do it until the close. So that's why I said, hey guys, all right, I'm literally making this video showing how oversold things are intraday, because quite frankly, I'm going to get balls deep in Amazon. All right. Now, Amazon, I wish pulled to Microsoft. I do. All right. Microsoft, look at this thing. Like, you got too many sexy setups right now. It's really ridiculous. All right. Coming back over to the indices, let's go over it. All right, guys, so you did break over here. All right, I'm going to take these levels off of the chart, but just know if we somehow take out this low, yes, we're going to re-add these, okay? It's going to be 515.30, and it's going to be 510.75. That is your worst case scenario over here, but I'm just going to say you have heavy volume on this, like really heavy volume going on right here, okay? You see this spike? Well, this is where all the heavy volume spikes are, and typically when you get them, you continue in that direction, all right? There you go. Or you're putting in like a high or a low. That's typically what volume does, guys. All right. If you have a bullish candlestick with heavy volume supporting it, that's a good sign. If you have a bearish candlestick with volume supporting it, that's a bearish sign. This was, it couldn't be more bullish. All right. So there's that. But yeah, so that's that on the downside. We're just going to take those off, all right? You did end up bouncing exactly off of the 518.57 level, the high over here that we were paying attention to. Like I said, we had those downside levels because, guys, I got to be honest, all right? When I'm watching something and something is just straight selling through, you got to be, prepared. What are you going to be doing, all right? I was definitely looking for the higher low regardless because, like I said, bullish weekly structure, you busted up to a new high. I didn't think that was all she wrote. I really didn't. I see no reason, psychology-wise, all right, buyers and sellers that are behind these candlesticks, why the heck are you going to have a massive correction here, all right? I say massive as in, 5.7%, okay, it's 5.8%. You kind of had that over here. So I guess we can't really call it massive. I would say this is a pretty massive correction, all right? But this was kind of also picture perfect, and you just came down to the golden pocket, and then you found buyers, all right? There's that. You also had a break and retest going on over here. Pretty similar to what we got going on over there, except this is the smaller scale version of this. All right. Pretty sexy, guys. On this channel, we are going to only be talking about the things we know work. All right. We're talking structure. We're talking golden pockets. We're talking our levels. We're talking downtrends, uptrends, All right. Volume. RSI, I'm going to be honest. This is also, something that will definitely help you out. All right. Like I said. When you see certain things just getting so oversold that, like, hey, this is where they typically do end up bouncing, you pay attention to it. Okay, you pay attention to it. So that's how I like using the RSI. All right, we also do look for these 15-minute bearish and bullish divergences over on SPY and QQQ and IWM because they are very freaking useful to us. All right, they help us out a lot. All right, guys. So I mean, as I just kind of, exposed there, all right, guys, we will be watching for that next bearish divergence. I don't know when it's going to pop up, but we typically do get one on SPY QQ before we get these decent sells, okay? You had a little guy over there, okay? We don't have one yet, okay? So we're definitely not going to be bearish right now on this. But coming back over here to the daily time frame, you got this guy with heavy volume above 527.31, the high of this candlestick right here. You are looking for 530.51, above 530.51. Let's add our golden pocket. All right, so we're going to add that. You get above 530.51, guys, you look for a new freaking all-time high. All right, people are going to be like, oh no, are you crazy? But no, maybe they're not after what we just saw. I'm going to be honest. How are you going to argue with this thing? How are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? But yeah, guys, above 527.31, we are looking for 530.51. Expect sellers here in the golden pocket. We could consolidate for a day or so, but I'm going to be honest with how this closed out. I think you got a lot of bears just trapped in their positions, and maybe they're going to be hoping for over the weekend. I think we might have a gap up. All right. Or, we just get some explosive continuation. All right. This is not a bearish candlestick by any means. I don't know how this formed. Like, we know how this formed, but did we think it was going to happen? No. All right. What the heck is this? Within 20 minutes, you had a $4 move, $5 move. All right. QQQ, within 20 minutes, you had a $4 move. It's insane. All right. What happened was insane. And quite frankly, guys, all right, weekly candlestick on IWM, also bullish. You did not come down to the golden pocket, but I will just remind everyone, hey, left shoulder, head. Where the heck is my thing? Where's my thing? There you go. Right shoulder. Okay. This thing doesn't look like it wants to break down. I'm going to be honest. It looks like it wants to continue higher. Now, in reality, on IWM, you do just have this, retest over here of this trend line, but I'm going to get rid of that thing considering the weekly candlestick that just formed. All right. So there's that. You come over here to DIA. What are we also looking at on the weekly chart? A big fat hammer candlestick that stems from the golden pocket. All right, guys, so I do think DIA is probably going to run it up, all right? And if I had to guess, it's probably going to run up to a new all-time high. But minimum, you're coming up here, and you're testing the golden pocket, which is going to be up here at 393. Where's current price? 387. All right? That puts 390C in the money by $3. I'm hyped, all right? We came back from the dead, baby. We came back from the dead. What the heck is this thing, all right? DIA showed the most strength over here on Friday, and I couldn't be happier about that, guys. All right, I really couldn't. You know why? Because it's now higher than where I bought in. All right, and I was like, Jesus, this is why I don't trade DIA. But you know what? Maybe there's a benefit after all. I'm still gonna say I'm not trading DIA anymore after this. I'm not. But hey, it's going according to plan after we got thrown for the freaking ride. All right, so there's that. Let's finish up with SPY and QQ over here, though. Okay, so we kind of went over this above 530.51. You are looking for a new all-time high over here at 533.07. If you get above there, 536, first target is going to be hit. That's what we're paying attention to, okay? Above there, you are targeting 543. I'm not saying it's going to happen all in one go, but quite frankly, we saw what can happen when the bulls start getting some steam. All right, you have your big correction. You do that. Well, I'm sure you had a lot of people getting bearish over here. Now you got some fuel to blast off to the upside. All right, QQQ, same exact look, guys. Okay, we are going to take off that level. We're going to take off that level because you held where you need to hold. And until you fade this candlestick, I'm not going to put the lower levels and clutter our chart. Nope, we're just going to have this very clean picture over here. We're going to have such a clean picture. And I'm actually going to get rid of that guy over there. We come over here to SPY and make that a little cleaner. We get rid of, we'll get rid of all of that, honestly. Get rid of all of that. We're going to get rid of that. And we're just going to, boom. We're going to go like, we're going to do it right there. All right. We're going to put the magnet on. We're going to come over here. We're going to mark the previous all-time high, guys. This is now the level that we want to be defending. You do not want to, defend it once and then slip. Okay, you don't want to get back under 524.61. You don't. All right, that would not be strength. I would not like it. Okay, what I would like is if you continue to just boom, blast off through this golden pocket. Maybe on Monday we get over 530.51, and from that point We can look Tuesday into Wednesday. We can look for a new all-time high. So that's really my outlook over here on SPY. And again, guys, we are not getting bearish until you get this 15-minute bearish divergence. We don't even look for a freaking pullback. There's no point. You are going to get the divergences popping up on either SPY or QQQ before these big pullbacks. All right? That is just like what we see. And if you're not new to the channel, then you know that it's facts. That is what we continuously see. We see the bullish divergences. I understand in this case that did not happen. All right? I understand. But most of the time before these bounces, we do end up seeing that be the case. All right? You had one over here, right there. All right? Lower low. Well, what did that lead to? It led to a $4 to $5 bounce. So that is that. All right. So we went over everything over there on SPY. Let's go over QQQ. All right. Let's put some levels on our chart and let's go over. All right. And if you guys are wondering how I chart, guess what? Well, you're about to see a sneak peek. All right. So first things first, daily levels are going to be more important than any other ones. All right. So we can tell right here. Okay, that was the low of this candlestick. That is where you bounced off of. Buyers started recovering, and then you sold through it. So in my opinion, that is going to be a significant level if we can surpass that. All right, where's the next one going to be? Right here. All right, so above 453.57, you're looking for 456.69. That is what I'm paying attention to. And above there, honestly, you're probably just going to run straight up to 460.58. New all-time high incoming, baby. That is what we're looking for. All right. Look at that. Just so happens to align with the golden pocket. All right, guys. So you break through 457. You are looking for 460.58. And from there, it's very likely that you're not going to double top, guys. Double tops very rarely play out. They can play out. You technically had a double top right here. You sold down through it. All right. But after getting something like this, you have no reason to expect that. What the heck is this? You really think you're going to get a double top off that? I don't. All right. You could have your own opinion, but that's my opinion. All right. So that's that. All right, guys. So above 457, new all-time high. Above new all-time high, or above previous all-time high, you're looking for 463. That is first target. All right. That's that. IWM, what are we going to be paying attention to into this week? All right. Again, we're going to put on some levels. So you got that going on right there. We're going to use the low of that candlestick right there. Okay. We're going to expect sellers right here in this zone. All right. So in between 207.09 and 207.93, you are looking for sellers to step in. If you really want to take a golden pocket from the high to the low, that is going to align right with the golden pocket, guys. Typically, you're always going to get this, 0.786 fib. It's going to be aligning with these resistance levels or support levels. In this case right here, you have the golden pocket. It typically always aligns with something. And that's the confluence I like to look for in these charts. We have a lot of freaking confluence going on across the board on these big names as well as the indices. Okay. Above 207.93, we're just going to say above 208. Above 208, you're looking for. We're going to switch that level. We don't need it to be there because why is it going to stall out right here when that is cents below the previous high? All right, so let's look for that. So above 208, you're looking for 209.77. That is what I'm going to be paying attention to. But quite frankly, guys, the way IWM is shaping up, it looks like, like I said, double tops rarely play out. Well, some people may have said, oh, double top. But to see that actually play out, you got to come down here and break the neckline of that, which would have been the low of this weekly candlestick, 191.34. That would have meant you had to go for a freaking ride. All right. In that case, you're just literally looking for something like this. You look for the bounce of the golden pocket. You look for come up to the next golden pocket, then lower high, and then you into the lower low. Maybe that is how that would have went. But guess what? That isn't how it went. All right. I'm actually going to take that off. Just know, guys, you somehow sink below this, the low of last week's candlestick, the low of 201.78. Nope. Yes, 201.78. You are going to be looking for buyers to just step in that golden pocket. Honestly, you probably just form another consolidation hammer candlestick over here, right? So this is an inside bar. That is definitely an inside bar. We have 3 weeks of those inside bars. We have a 3-week range here. You break out through the high, which would be above 209.77. That is when you look at for things to get pretty explosive, all right? That's that. Okay, and then obviously above 211.88, you look for 217 up there. Okay, and I think that's low of this guy. Where is it? Right there. That guy right there, 217.10. It's low of this little guy. If you see what I'm pointing to, all right? DIA. There we go. I'm sorry. I was trying to adjust this. I keep pulling out the thing by accident. All right, you're just looking for a move into this golden pocket. We kind of covered it earlier, but that is what we're paying attention to. You don't get moves like this, and then it leads to not continuation. Okay, so I am definitely going to be looking for continuation up to this 393 level at least. Okay, so path that or that. More likely that, in my opinion. All right, and speaking of paths, before we move on, let's look at SPY. Okay, so paths going into this week. All right, I'm just going to say you're very likely just going to test this level here. Like my main scenario here is just you're going to rip faces this week. I'm going to be completely honest. You don't close out like we just did and not like, guys, that is a 1.6% move. That is so freaking attainable after what we just saw. You had a 1.6%, 1.7% intraday move on Friday. Yeah, that's honestly base case is right here. Okay, and you stall out somewhere around here. You come back and retest that. Maybe you go up to new high. All right, so that's really my main scenario there. Let's just say you somehow fade this. Okay, so that's your bull case right there. Another one going to be you consolidate right here in the golden pocket and then go up. Okay, or maybe, just maybe, you come back down here and revisit 524.61 and then you launch up. Okay, in that case, guys, you're just looking for like a bullish divergence to be put in right here. But quite frankly, guys, after what we just got, I will not be surprised to see a gap up into Monday. All right, there's that. There's probably a lot of shorts that are like, crap. All right, that's probably what's going through their mind. Like I was seeing this thing sink, and I was like, I'm just gonna keep getting, I'm gonna go heavy on Amazon. All right, I just want to buy, and I kind of wish I did go balls deep more across the board. All right, we got like Oxy going over here. I didn't want to get heavier than I was over here if the market was gonna keep tanking. I didn't want to do it. I knew I had time, but like at the end of the day, guys, you don't know until you know. And now we did get our signal that, yeah, we're probably going to be reversing back upwards. Okay. There's that. You got a lot of beautiful setups. Okay. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. All right. But that's really, my two scenarios, main scenarios over there on SPY. Okay. If you just so happen to fade this somehow, okay, like maybe this was just shorts covering and then they're going to bring it down. But I really don't think you get this look and you continue lower. All right, then maybe it goes something like that. And then you find buyers sitting right here. That's also going to line with the golden pocket. It's going to be sitting like right down here. And from there, we're looking for a move back up. All right, so those are my three scenarios going into this week. I don't think that one's going to happen. I think it's really just going to be up to these two right here, where you either bust it straight up to a new all-time high in 536 and then maybe consolidate there. All right, or you consolidate here in the golden pocket and then eventually break that up into the end of the week. And then we continue up to new all-time high. That's how things are looking to me. QQQ over here, we're going to honestly say the same exact thing. You got this guy over here. All right. And then you rally, you consolidate beginning of the week here after this big move. All right. Which I think is unlikely because typically when you get these candlesticks like this. All right. You got one right here at the bottom right there. I know you can't see it because of volume. You got the one at the bottom right there. Do we have one down here? No, you don't. All right. But yeah, it typically shows that buyers are present. You got one right here. You got one right here. And then you got the big green dildo candlestick, all right? It's looking massive over there. Guys, it's looking crazy. So that's that. That is scenario number one. Scenario number two is that. All right, maybe you pull back into there, and then maybe you go higher. So that's that. All right, those are my scenarios over there on SPY and QQQ. All right, guys, now let's dive into VIX before we move on to the individual tickers, guys. VIX just had a minus 10% day. This is typically not something that, you get before it spikes massively again, okay? Especially not with the look of the indices right there. My prediction over here on VIX is you are going to get a VIX crush underneath this low, okay? So 1152, I think it's going to be taken out. You just need one more day like we just had. You get a 1 to 2% update over on the S&P 500, you are going to see VIX crush down to a new low. All right, there's that. I was wondering why VIX wasn't, I was saying in my video, VIX, you would expect it to be more up, or it wasn't up at all. It was down as the NASDAQ was down 1.6%. And like, Yeah, I couldn't make sense of it. Now I know why. All right. They were planning on ripping it. So people, the big money, weren't taking puts. I was like, people are just being cautious on the put side right now. But no, it was big money had a plan. They wanted to rip absolute faces into the end of the day, and they didn't want to lose any of their put money on that. That is why you pay attention to Mr. VIX, guys. That is literally the only reason you really have to pay attention to VIX. It gives you hints into what the S&P 500 will be doing. All right. And NASDAQ moves with that. And I like the NASDAQ. I, trade NQ over ES any freaking day. All right. ES makes me pull out my hair. NQ, let me be in and out. That's how I see it. It's quick money. It's nice money. And then ES is, I don't know. I'm just sitting there just waiting on moves. They typically do end up happening, but I'll definitely say it's a slower mover. I don't like it. So there's that. Just my style. Okay. Just my style. Okay. Go over some setups into the coming week. We'll start off with Amazon, guys. I like how you got this decreasing volume on these 3 weeks of sell, whereas you had this big hammer with this heavy volume, all right? Showing buyers are more prevalent over here than these sellers. You came down into the golden pocket, guys. You move above 180.32. You were looking for a move into this 184.08 to 186.67 zone. That is what I will be looking for. So above right here, we're coming up here. Okay, and I don't know what happens here. You either go something like that, or you're just going to straight up bust it up after all of this consolidation because you just broke out from your downtrend. That is what we're paying attention to, and we're actually going to put on that level right there. 190, 170. I do think we are going to break it onto new all-time high. It's just my personal opinion, right? But the daily RSI, it is in the same spot that you typically start getting these bounces for the past very long time, year and a half. All right, so that's that. I don't think we're entering this correction period / bear market. All right, I think we're in a raging bull market that wants to keep going higher. All right, and yeah, I told you guys my SPY and QQ targets. I think those are going to be hit on this next leg up. That's that. And if that happens, a lot of these other ones are going to go. All right, so we're going to cover the main stocks right here, like Microsoft. All right, Microsoft came right down to the 0.618 fib, and like I pointed out in my video yesterday, guys, this thing just, since 2017, I think it was, it hasn't been down here. My freaking foot is numb right now. Holy sweet baby Jesus. Just moved it. Oh, it's giving me feeling again. Nice. It's coming back to life. My right foot. It was, holy pins and needles and a half. You guys know that feeling? Craziness. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But we're just going to keep going. How was I not feeling this before? They're full effect. All right. Regardless, guys. All right. Microsoft closed out with a massive lower wick. You got a hammer candlestick. Extremely heavy volume here, guys. You don't have heavier volume for a very long time. All right. So you definitely saw buyers taking a stand here. That's what I want to point out here. All right. I understand you did close out still down. No, you were up actually 11%, but like you had a massive spike. This is over a 2% spike, and we're talking like 20 minutes. Like, what is this, dude? What is this? 2% in 20 minutes. $9. Like, that's what I was saying. I wish Amazon did that. I would have been happy. I probably would have taken some of that off because Amazon would have been bump, 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 bump. And this is why I was trying to take the time to go over math, guys. All right. I was trying to like, hey, I'm trying to show people like, hey, if you set yourself up for, so you can make these adjustments / you can, make the bigger buys if you get a bigger opportunity, okay? And you buy enough time, you know how things work, all right? You put in $2,000 right here, you put in $1,000 right here. Well, let's say you're down 50% on your position right here, you put in $1,000 right here, and by the time you get up here, another, $5 move or wherever it was, I think it was up here. At that point, oh yeah, $5. Like I was using the 621 expiration as an example. Like, guess what? Your grand just turned into $2,000, and then you also recovered the money from over here. So now you're net up, but this grand made up for that. So that's what I'm talking about. All right, and I think that is about to be the case. Okay, but you come over here to Microsoft. This thing's looking absolutely freaking phenomenal. All right, 0.618 fib tap. Extremely heavy volume. Like I said, hourly RSI definitely said we should be getting a dead cat bounce soon. I just didn't know where it was going to happen. Of course it happens at the golden pocket. Of course. All right. Silly me. All right. Silly me. I was looking for it. think it was at 407. It came down to 405. I think this is when I record the video. It was like right on this candlestick right here. It was around 407. All right, but 0.618 tap. You held your breakout zone right over here, guys. All right, your breakout level actually. So we do have a break and retest in play. You broke down from the downtrend, went like this. TA is picture perfect to me. This chart, this price, not TA, this price action is picture perfect. You had an uptrend, you had a downtrend. All right, we actually, played that. Your boy sold a little too early over here. Okay, I remember being really salty about that one with the May 17 expiration, and then you ripped faces into the May 17 expiration. All right, you had this over here at 522. I think I was in 522, 422. I think I was in 405 or 410. See, all right, and I was really mad about seeing that one. All right, so I'm just saying, guys, moving forward, when I'm trying to catch these moves, I'm just gonna start buying like 60 days, just so I don't have to worry about these. I'm pretty spot on with calling out moves, but in terms of what I just described, well, it's a lot more stressful if you only have a few like a week left on your cons, and then you get the move. And I'm like, crap, sweet baby Jesus. But guess what? What if you had 60 days on it, Henry? All right. What if you had the July expiration to June like in that case, the June expiration would have been sexy. All right. So what if you had something like that? You're definitely catching the move. And that means, the grand you threw in down here, you definitely are 2 to 3x in that money. All right. So that's kind of how I see it. All right. I see these things on Twitter saying, newer traders tend to, go with the shorter expirations. And in reality, if you just double whatever it is or do, just buy more time, your hit rate will go up. Guys, I could tell you for a fact that is true. All right. That is what I just described straight up. All right. It's very, once you get the skill set of reading the price action, you typically could see like almost every move before it actually happens. Okay. I'm definitely long biased, so I look for long setups continuously. That is what I'll give you guys here on this channel. We will, call it short setups when I see it, but guys, the weekly structure is up. I don't think there's a reason to be playing downside. I took my shot at the downside over here on Spine QQQ. Guess what? All right, it didn't do me right. So over here, QQQ didn't do me right. There you go. But yeah, guys, this is picture freaking perfect. All right. I am looking for a new all-time high over here on Microsoft. That is how it's looking for me. All right. But you're at least looking for a test of 425 over here. So that's that. Come over here to Goog. All right. Again, with the break and retest, you held this, this breakout level right there. We're going to do that. We're going to put it right there. All right, guys. So you did hold the break and retest. And from here, it does look like you're probably also going to be heading up to a new all-time high. I understand you're kind of you're on weak market structure up here. It does not look like it's strong. All right. Like look at Microsoft. All right. It's just getting warmed up. Well, Goog over there. Okay. If you come over here to Goog already did what Microsoft just did. So you had that decent, correction to go off of. It was looking like pretty strong. I'm not going to say this thing looks weak, but I'm definitely going to say you don't have much to go off up here, so I wouldn't be playing Google over any of the other ones I'm showing you guys. I really wouldn't. All right. Next one we're going to talk about is over here on Meta. Okay, so Meta did close out the weekly hammer candlestick. You do have that low volume, though. I will point that one out. We were actually off on Monday. I just remembered. So even though we had heavy volume, all right, on some of these things, we were off on Monday. All right, but break and retest, guys, off of this downtrend. You swept the liquidity over there. I mentioned at the beginning of the video. But you got the heavy volume on Friday. I think you're probably going to push up to 482.50 and above there. You target these gray levels. We're talking 488.97. Low of this candlestick right here. The high of that candlestick is going to be 498.76. That's where we're paying attention. At 505.80. All right, and if you were just to take that and you come all the way down here, guess what? Golden pocket. All of the levels that I just mentioned are in the golden pocket. We know we expect sellers in the golden pocket. So now we just refined what we're paying attention to in the golden pocket. I told you guys, I like looking for confluence. All right, next one we're going to talk about is Apple. Apple had the heavy volume over here, and as you see, I do have these arrows, guys. Now, while I have this in mind, all right, I did already post this on Twitter. That is why I drew these arrows. Okay, guys, so if you are not following the Twitter over here, guys, go follow the Twitter. I will be posting I'm not going to post everything, Okay, but I'll tell you right now, I'm going to be posting, you know, a good amount of trade ideas and a lot of charts over here consistently on the Twitter. And then every single weekend, every Saturday, I'm going to say, good morning, guys. What ticker shall we cover today? And you're going to let me know whatever tickers you want me to go over going into the coming week. All right. And I will post it later in the day. Or if I really don't have time, I will post it on Sunday. But you know what, guys? I have off on Saturdays moving forward. I haven't had an off day, all right, from work, from my 2 jobs in since October. All right, guys. So I'm pretty excited. I got an off day from both at Saturday. All right. So it's extremely sexy. It's amazing for me. All right. So I don't think that's going to be the case. I'm hyped about it. All right. I'm gonna have a day to really just get all the stuff done. If you don't have time for the little things, right? You get to get all the little things done now, Henry. I'm hyped. All right. But recently these volume spikes have at least continued a little higher. If not, you've had decently higher. Okay, and now that you broke out this downtrend slash, it's actually a falling wedge if you just go like over there. All right, so you did have that falling wedge, or if you were just to take the parallel one of over here, you could see you had like a channel going on there. Whatever you want to look at that as, you had the breakout. You're now at like the final target of that. Okay, coming into the high of 196.38. That would be your final target for the falling wedge breakout. If you're going off of what I started with, which was the patternsite.com, is Thomas Bulkowski. All right. That is, you know, just I just kind of have these patterns and stuff in my minds now and the targets. But regardless, you were going to have one sitting around right here where you started to stall out at. And if you guys want to really, you know, factor in the Henry method, guess what? You launched right into the golden pocket, and that's where you started finding sellers. You always expect the opposing side there in the golden pocket. Use the tool, guys. It's useful. It is useful. And if you need help on it, guys, I will have a video coming out going over that. All right, so stay tuned for that one. Could potentially be tomorrow. All right, could potentially be tomorrow. I'm not gonna say when, but hey, be on the lookout. There you go. But yeah, guys, Apple, I do think you're about to bust up from this downtrend, and once you do that, you're coming up to 196.38 to 199.62. And honestly, guys, all right, is that your all-time high? Yeah, so 199.62 is your all-time high. I think Apple's about to take that out. All right, just my opinion. Just my opinion. It is not. No, it is the all-time high, 199.62. All right. So that's that over there. Those were the big boys, guys. Now we're going to come over here to Baba. All right, guys. So these are all the trade ideas I am going to look for going into next week. I'm going to make the focus list off of these guys, and I'm going to have detailed trade plans, all right, to pay attention to, all right? But Baba specifically, guys, this thing looks pretty sexy. I was waiting on the break and retest. This thing is now printing a hammer off of increasing volume right off of the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders pattern, the high of this candlestick, 78.05, all right? So you do have a decent ass looking weekly chart over here. All right, you had this inverse head and shoulders, you got the left shoulder, you got the head, you have the right shoulder. All right, whatever you want to call this thing, you call it a base. You also had the downtrend break. You're getting a retest of the high of that base, or the, you know, neckline of that inverse head and shoulders. And again, guys, golden pocket, this is where you expect sellers. Okay, so if you're riding something down from here, you are looking to take your profits right when it enters the golden pocket. That's the 0.618 fib, guys. If you want to set this up for yourself, this is how I set it up. And then I have these down here. Naturally, it's going to have that. I take that off, and I, instead of having that, I have prices. Okay. I'm also going to take off text right there. That's been bothering me. Regardless, guys, all right, stalled out there once. We are looking for sellers again. So if you're taking it from here all the way up to here, that is going to be a 14% move, a $10+ move. You are taking your profits when it gets up there. And I'm actually going to move this level because you did get above it before. Was the one being respected right there. You could see you wicked right through them. All right, so that's what we're going to pay attention to. It literally does align exactly with your 0.786 fib. I love to see it. Not 0.786 fib, your 0.618 fib. I love it. All right. Next one we are going to put on your radar. I'm not going to be playing this. I don't want to touch it. All right. I didn't like that you had this base over here on the weekly time frame and you fell back under it. I don't like that at all. That is that. But you, come on. There we go. All All right, so you had this base. Technically you didn't, all right, but I think I was paying attention to this. I took it off my chart today, all right, but you got that going on. Technically you are holding there, right? If you're going to use this wick right here, you can tell where sellers were stepping in. You can tell where they continuously stepped in. Basing out right there. Boom. All right, you reversed from there. It was, base to the downside. All right, they work on, when I say base, guys, it just literally means you're consolidating. You see a range build out. Okay, you have some structure to go off of, and then you see a breakout from that structure. In this case, it would be a break under like right here. Okay, but really it's right here. That was the low of your range, and then this was the top of your range up there. All right, you were looking for a break. I obviously wasn't paying attention to it back there. I'm paying attention to it now on this retest, all right? You break out from this wedge. I'm going to say it's like a weak-looking falling wedge, but technically, according to that Bulkowski guy I just mentioned, all right, on the patternsight.com, you need 2 touches on one side, you need 3 on the other, all right? You have a 1, you have a 2, you have a 3, you have a 1, and a 2. All right, so it is a valid falling wedge pattern. There you go. Regardless, you could take this away right here. Take that guy. I want to add back my zone. You can take away that, and now you just have a downtrend to go off of right there. If you break above 337.32, it is very likely going to run back up to the high over here and run to 350.44. Okay, you expect sellers in this zone. If it can get above that zone, you have a pretty clean shot here for another $10+ move. There you go. All right, short-term contracts. That is a nice trade right there. That is a nice trade right there. You expect sellers right there. That is a nice, move right there. You expect sellers right there. That's how I think. That's how I look at things, and it typically works out. All right, so, if you don't know what works out yet at this point in your game, just take it from me. All right, and I will continuously update you on the concepts that I find that work here on this channel consistently. All right, so you can see you can learn the concept, and then you can see the proof of concept continuously and hammer it into your head. All right. We use patterns. We use the golden pocket. We use our levels and, volume. The volume is definitely a big one. All right. RSI I like too. All right, guys. You did have this bullish divergence building out over here. You had a triple bullish divergence going on over here. You broke out. This is honestly such a sexy chart to me. Okay. I really freaking like this one. All right. Why? Breakout. Heavy volume. I understand it's off earnings, but I care about the charts. Okay, guys? Care about the charts. Heavy volume right here. Ran up to the golden pocket. Sold off from the 0.618 Fibonacci. All right. That is exactly where you found sellers stepping in. It's guys, cut and paste on all these charts, guys. Cut and paste over and over again. All right. From here, guys, you're now consolidating in what looks to be a bull flag. And if you can break up here, all right, which looks extremely likely there, after the hammer you just printed off of this, increasing volume down there. All right, I can't believe I used to not use the arrow. I used to literally just go like this. That was how I made my arrows. There was that. Then you think this is just so much more clean. Boom. All right. Regardless, guys, you love to see that. You love to see the low volume on these 2 red days, like very low volume going on over here. And then you, boom, volume starts spiking back up here when you print this hammer candlestick. From here, guys, I think you're about to run it back up to at least 265. That is the next level I'll be looking for over here. But yeah, the next one above there is going to be, obviously the 0.786 fib, but I think this thing looks like it wants to fall in reverse. 209.72 above 265. You're looking for 209.72. If you can get above there, that is when you are going to very likely make this clean, quick move up to a new all-time high above 221.83. That's where you're paying attention to. All right, guys, let's come over to the next one. All right, Uber. I think this thing looks phenomenal. All right. Again, in the first half, they had me going for my money. Run for your money. All right. They had me in the first half, but guess what? All right. We had them in the second half. This thing ended up closing out phenomenally. All right. So I know it doesn't look like a lot of volume because you have some of these big volume spikes, but you did have increasing volume on there. You were continuing to get this positive reaction off of the previous all-time high, which is actually wrong level there. Let me hip hoppity uppity 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 hip hoppity uppity 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 there we go. All right, just like that. All right, I like my clean charts. There you go. That is the zone we're paying attention to over there. And you are continuing to get these positive reactions off of there. You're now also in this smaller falling wedge here. Okay, so you break out from the falling wedge, you're going to push this trend line. Okay, you break out from this parallel descending channel, you're going to go some places. You're going to get all the way up here. You are going to have this golden pocket, but that's not the one I'm paying attention to. I think you're about to retrace this whole move at least. I think you're getting up here to 73.66. That's where you expect sellers. I understand that's not where the golden pocket is. All right, but in this chart specifically, you would have a break and retest just like you had sellers stepping in over here. You expect sellers to step in again. Quite frankly, it could go something like this. All right, consolidate a little. You come up. If it really wants to get explosive, it'll go like that. All right, it'll go like that until like, you know, first or second week into June. And then you're going to pull back. All right, and from that pullback, you look for this to form. Does anybody see what I see? Anybody see it? Left shoulder. Head. Right shoulder. All right, guys. So we continuously, I told you guys, cut and paste on all these charts. We look for the same patterns. We look for the same stuff. These are the things I actually see: inverse head and shoulders, and yeah, I guess we'll say inverse head and shoulders, downtrend breaks, and you know, falling wedge patterns. That is what we will say we see the most. You see cup and handles as well. This is actually just the giant cup and handle. All right, so if you want to just take that, go like that, you have the handle. All right, so before we got this pullback, it was like right here. I drew this exact thing, and when I saw this thing started getting mentioned on Twitter, that is when I looked back at it and I'm like, holy crap, this thing is right here at the previous all-time high, and wow, it followed my little handle to the cup and handle pattern. All right, and now it looks like it's getting ready to launch. Okay, and I think the rubber band is about to snap back. There's that. You come over here to Kava. All right, I just want to literally point out this weekly chart. Guys, this thing does not look bearish to me. Okay, you have this heavy volume. Kava wants 100. I'm not saying it's going to go straight up there. Maybe you consolidate here, honestly, after this big move. Maybe it happens, but it wants 100. It probably is going to go higher, up to like 110. Okay, but you got very heavy volume going on here. All right. Oh, that's why I had the arrow, right? The heavy volume spikes. You don't typically see this and then a candlestick with this lower wick without it going further. Now, what I will say is the 9 EMA, you just back tested the weekly one. Okay. On the daily time frame, you want to not, you know, just buy in up here. Daily time frame, you wait for this retest. It has been riding it this whole entire time. It continuously gets these spikes above it, returns to it. Okay, you got decently far away from it right here. It's well, if you're gonna do that, 271. All right, well now you're decent, $7. Okay, so I understand if you don't want to buy here. I don't want to buy here. If I see this retest over here, all right, and it gets a really big pullback, I'm all for it. Okay, that is the only case that I will be all for it. That's that. Do wish I held my original position. SMH is actually one I forgot to cover when we were going over the indexes, guys. Oh, 47-minute video, guys. We got, hey, it's jam-packed. I will say that. We got so much going into the next week. Oh, it's going to be beautiful, all right? These guys, all right, I have not taken off these arrows since this candlestick, or I think it was this candlestick right here. All right. Guess what? Okay, we are getting that positive reaction here. You're getting the buyers defending the previous all-time high. I think you're about to launch higher. Some of these chips looks absolutely sexy, all right? Coming over here to Nike, guys, you have 6 weeks of consolidation. You technically have like, you know, a lot. You have like 8 weeks of consolidation, but right over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, finally broke up with the increasing volume. Daily chart looks very sexy, all right? I gave up on this thing literally right at the edge. Boy, am I an idiot. That's okay. It was the one showing strength when we had everything else just plummeting. All right, this thing was up. All right, so Nike, guys, you see that arrow? I think that's going to be the case. I think it's pushing up this downtrend right there. I don't know what happens from there, but what I will point out now, you pull back here, go like that, and maybe just a little guy. You got a left shoulder, you got a head, you're going to have a right shoulder. Told you. Same patterns, same structure we look for. Cut and paste across the board. Coin, guys, this one is going to depend on Bitcoin. It is still just consolidating. If you can break above this, all right, you have this little flag going on, or this pennant, this bull pennant. All right, if you can break above it, that is your flag pull. You're going much higher. Okay, you're going to like, plus 75K plus. Okay. If that happens, coin is going to go bananas. Coin is just pulling back right now, like we pointed out. You have the left shoulder, you have the head. You now can pull back to this golden pocket here. And if you do so, that is a sexy buying opportunity, in my personal opinion. All right. So just something to take note of. All right. I do think this is the buying opportunity. I didn't want to buy in up here. Like, I had one con riding and I didn't want to add a full position up here. I thought it was kind of dumb. Well, this is why you wait for your pullback. Okay. Patience will pretty much always pay in the stock market. Sometimes, guys, things rip on you. COVID's been haunting me for freaking ever, and I haven't gotten the pullbacks that I wanted. Right here was the last pullback I wanted. I didn't take it. And then I wanted the pullback right here. I just kept not getting it, and I thought I was going to get it over here. I didn't. This day, oh, it could have been so good. It could have been amazing. All right? It's okay, though. It is okay. But yeah, all right. Sometimes you just got to wait for these pullbacks. Now on coin, guys, you're getting that pullback. The next one I'm going to bring up over here is CLSK. See that arrow? I have not moved it. I understand you're dancing around it. Now we're deleting it. I understand you're dancing around, the retest of that downtrend for quite some time now. Okay, it's been a whole week and a half. Guess what, guys? This thing, if Bitcoin goes, this is going to be a top candidate over here for a big run. Probably going to see this move back up to the all-time high. Not all-time high. You're going to move back up to there. And actually, what do we also see? You do have this little inverse head and shoulders pattern, which actually is pretty big in the grand scheme of things. You're also going to have this big guy. All right. Well, technically, you already had that and you broke above the neckline right there. And now you're just flagging above it. This thing doesn't look bad at all, guys. It looks freaking sexy. All right. So that is a trade idea for you. Come over here to Mara. Mara is back down at the golden pocket from this most recent run, guys. Mara loves its golden pocket. You keep just being patient for the golden pocket. You got a 1. You got a 2. All right. And you got a 3. All right, guys. So patience pays. Golden pocket also pays. If you take anything away from these videos, guys, I think that's going to be the number one concept. That and just, simply just understanding the buyer and seller psychology on these charts. I think that's the biggest takeaway from my content. All right. So I hope you guys are getting that. All right. At the bare minimum, you were taking away what I just described. The psychology behind what's going on over here, and understand things do not go straight up or down. All right. They don't. Really do not. What I will also point out is you have a left shoulder, a head, and now you have a right shoulder in the making, guys. What the heck? Why are we seeing this? So, guys, the things are about to explode. They're going to explode, all right? Samara, you're paying attention to it. It's in the golden pocket right now. Well, it bounced back from the golden pocket, all right? So that's that. AMD over here is the last one we're going to be covering in today's video. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't let me fool you. Okay, I got 2 more for you, your ass. There we go. All right, guys. You're not gonna pay me ad. I swear, guys, I don't get ad revenue if I do. If I swear in the videos, I don't. And I definitely got a bad habit of throwing them in there. It's okay. I like being myself, and I guess it's just part of my vocab. Maybe it's not the best. All right, it's okay though. All right. Heavy volume. Well, we're going to say increasing volume. We're not going to call it heavy volume. You had these days. The days of heavy volume are behind us. I think they're going to be coming up, though. All right. I think you are eventually going to make it into here over, potentially June, guys. SMH looks like it's going to explode. And, let's just take a look at MU over here. Oh, dude. Like, again, guys, I don't move these arrows. Okay? I don't. I did this off of, like, literally on this candlestick right here. This is what I shared with the Discord. All right, let me actually, over here, let me find him, you. That looks so sexy to me. Oh, dude. That's beyond amazing, all right? That is greatness. That is greatness over here, okay? Oh, I got a crypto coin for you guys. I got you. Look at that. This is beautiful. I love when things go picture perfect. I watch so many things that I don't I typically, most of these I have to set alerts for, or I will, miss the actual price action I'm calling for. Besides the indexes, guys, if you are in the Discord, just know I will, from here on out, I will be literally strictly updating on SPY, QQ, NQ, and ES / also IWM and RTY from 9:30 all the way up until we're talking 1:30 every single day. All right, so that's what my futures trading window that I will be utilizing every single day. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. I will have strictly I will be sitting down on the charts and I will do that. All right, so I'm hyped about that. I got my little daily routines all unpacked. We're gonna start waking up guaranteed every single morning at 6:30 instead of some days we wake up at 5, some days we wake up at 7. Nope, we're gonna be waking up at 6:30. We're gonna be going to bed at 10:30 every night. It's gonna be a blast. All right, it's gonna be a blast, and that way I can get my gym and my dog walk in. I go for like a 2 to 3 mile walk every day. And then also the gym most days. All right, I'm 2 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 days off. I've been doing it for the past like year and a half. That exact same was that routine? No, regimen. Yeah, training regimen. Yeah, I guess we'll call it that. All right, we got the upper body day, and then we got the lower body day off. Upper body day, lower body day. That's what I've been doing for too long. It's not too long. It's what I do with my body. I make my body work. All right. And I will tell you guys, being in a deficit, it has started catching up to the energy. All right. I remember I was, full guns blazing with energy all the time. All right. And I was also seeing my strength every single session go up. Every single session, I was able to push another rep on these exercises. Pretty much every single exercise for months and months and months and months and months and months. All right. And I returned back to like a decent size because I was recovering from injuries and stuff. Now I'm back pushing my weight and I'm hyped about it. All right, I'm hyped about it. But now I've been in this deficit for, we'll say, probably the last month. Guys, I'm down to 216.7 today. When I started this, I was around 230, so I'm pretty hyped about that. That means I'm definitely it's the progress is coming. All right, so I saw more clear abs than I've seen in a while. And I looked on the scale. I was like, let me jump on the scale. Oh, and I was like, holy crap. I'm hyped about that. But I will say, guys, I have been drained. Like, energy-wise, drained. All right? Like, I can't describe it. You just gotta know what I'm talking about to know what I'm talking about. I've been eating 2,350 calories for weeks now. My maintenance is around 3,000. So I'm definitely being a little more aggressive, but that's why I'm trying to keep my protein as high as possible, right around 200 grams. Just so, and I gotta, keep my hormones up. So we gotta do, because guys, we trade. We can't mess with the stuffs, okay? We cannot mess with the hormones. So you gotta keep the fats high, all right? So there's that. Not high, but, we're sticking with 70, 80 grams of fats. All right, so there's that. But, well, that's, carbs give you energy. That's why I've been low on energy. There you go. All right, back to what I was saying. All right, so MU, let's actually look at TSM over here. So MU guys, oh, these look all so sexy. Do you guys see this as well? All right, you guys want to come back over here to the little Discord? All right, TSM. I knew it. Oh, it was right above. It was right it was right above. All right. There you go right there. Chips are looking sexy, guys. They're looking so freaking sexy to me, all right? We're going to take that off right there. We're just going to leave that on, all right? Break and retest, guys. It's looking extremely sexy to me on all of these chips, all right? Looking real good, guys. It's looking real good, all right? You got TSM. You got MU with the break and retest. You got AMD. Pretty much, it's looking like you're ready to launch, right? Golden pocket test. Increasing volume, you held this uptrend, we pointed out. If you were to break on in the uptrend, that's when we were saying you could come all the way down here and revisit that golden pocket, and then it could go something like that, all right? But that, as you could see, is not the case. Guess what? All right, what I'm looking for from here, you got to break above 172.49. You got a daily close above that level. It's a low of this candlestick right there. Guys, you have a straight shot. That's $10 up to the next resistance. That is your day trade idea / weeklies idea. That's your short-term trade idea. All right. Even if you're taking some time out on that, like that's a decent move right there. You're like 621 expiration. You're probably getting 100% gain on that at least. That's just something to pay attention to. All right. Now, the biggest of the boys, guys, NVIDIA. Close out with the hammer, increasing volume. It could do whatever it wants, right? You filled the gap over here. No, you didn't fill the gap over here. You just, came down into it and you just missed it, all right? You also missed that daily 9 that it just loves to ride up, all right? So these are the things that I like to look for. And honestly, guys, this thing's still riding high in the sky. I'm not touching it, all right? I ain't touching NVIDIA. I think there's more, better risk to reward over here that I just pointed out, guys. Like, for example, what the heck is this thing? 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 What the heck is this? Apple, I'm not going to say touch that thing. What the heck is this thing? Tesla, that's another one we're going to pay attention to right here, guys. It's coiling up, all right? You broke out from the inverse head and shoulders. You back tested, and now you're just consolidating. I think it's getting ready for a big move again. We're getting ready for another 10 to 15% move. You got one over here, 12%. You got a 15% gap. I think we have some news around the corner. I don't think it's going to be bearish. I think it's going to be bullish. All right. So it's just something I'm paying attention to. So that's that. All right. But let's come over here to Dell. Guys, we just went over so many freaking setups going in the coming week. Take your picks, ladies and gentlemen. Take your freaking picks. What A+ setup do you want? Which one do you want? All right. Which one are you going to take? All right, let me know down in the comments, guys. We just covered like 20 plus A+, maybe it was like, we're going to say 15 plus A+ setups that we could be paying attention to going into the coming week. Which one do you want? All right, which one you going to watch out for this week? Which ones are you going to watch out for? I want to know about it. All right, I want to know, how are you guys using the content that I provide to you guys on a daily basis? You guys got to be using it, all right? Let me know what you're going to be paying attention to, because I'm going to be paying attention to whatever I put on that focus list. Those big boys, obviously, those are going to be the safest, all right? If SPY and QQ are coming up to the all-time highs, they're going to be going with it. But overall, guys, I mean, some of these are definitely standing out to me more than others. I ain't touching this Dell thing. Premiums are definitely still juiced, all right? You got the heavy volume off the break and retest, golden pocket test. Right underneath, you're going to have this uptrend, and it aligns with that 0.786 fib, as well as that 127.73 breakout level right there, all right? So that's where you're paying attention to. If buyers, if they fade this, you're just looking for a hammer to print right off of here, okay? Honestly, with how this looks, you're probably going to get that dead cat bounce. You could be coming back up to a golden pocket. Could have a move up to 160. That could be the move, all right? Just something to pay attention to, but I'm not going to be playing it. I think there's so many other A+ setups that we just freaking covered. Snow just started a weekly breakdown, all right? So I told you guys, we'll call out some short things. I'm just, long biased, guys. I definitely am. I will not deny, all right? Big old bear flag. This thing looks like it has some room down. We've seen that weekly RSI get all the way down there twice. It looks like it's probably going to be getting down there. When it does get down there, it's going to be down here, all right? Golden pocket, you just got underneath the 0.786 fib. Heavy volume on the sell, heavy volume on the breakdown. Very likely that you are now going to have that happen. So from here, you go in there, or you go like that. Okay, and maybe it happens on the golden pocket. Let's get some confluence going. Maybe it happens like that. You get a large wick right here. You get a wick of like $5 to $10. All right, and then close out with an inverted hammer or something like that. I don't know. Shooting star, spinning top candlestick. I don't know. All right, but you're looking for something over here. Gravestone doji, just a bearish candlestick to print off of this retest, and that is when you would take that. I'm not going to be touching it. We have so many good stuff. All right, Oxy, this thing looks so beautiful. Did I point out Oxy yet today? I don't think I did, but it looks phenomenal. I actually saw XLE on Twitter. This thing has a bull flag going on. This thing also looks freaking phenomenal. All right, so if XLE is going to be breaking out of that flag, all right, you're just going to put a little trend line there. Then that means Oxy is about to freaking perform. Let's see if we can find anything on ZOM right now. Oh, ZOM. Oh, not looking too bad either with the bull flag. With the bull flag, baby. Oh, yeah. All right, so there's that. Break and retest off that level right there. You did not come down to where I thought it was going to come down. That's where I was going to be paying attention to it. All right. But Oxy, that is definitely something that I'm going to be paying attention to. And that is potentially going on the focus list this week. Okay. This is pretty sexy. There's no denying it. Let's just run through the chart here. Right. Break and retest off of that downtrend. Break and retest off the horizontal breakout level. Golden pocket test. All right. Falling wedge breakout. with heavy volume. All right, volume. Daily RSI reached down into oversold territory and said, nope, heck nah, let's recover. All right, so it's just starting to turn up from oversold territory. And guys, if you have been paying attention to Oxy for a while, most of the times it doesn't actually do what it did last time. It just kind of bounces from right where we just tapped and it goes up. You just broke through that downtrend right there, which is the upper bound of that falling wedge. I do think this thing is about reversing up. I think that's going to be the case. I think you're going to hit 64.07 in the short term. If you get above 64.07, the next level you're paying attention to is 65.78. We're looking for a full-on retracement here. Just like to this move, you got a full-on retracement. A full retracement, okay? You are now going to be paying attention to 67 bucks if you can get above 65.78. All right, guys, I'm going to close out the video with that because we're now in an hour and 5 minutes. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All right. And yeah, all right, guys, if you do enjoy the content that we provide for absolutely no cost to you here, all right, guys, you're going to love the Twitter over there. So go follow that. Link is going to be down below. If you would like to come join, my private room, Discord, whatever people call these things, all right? It's my community. That's what I call it. There's that. The link is also below. I think, you will enjoy if you are a SPY, QQQ, NQ, or ES trader. I think you're going to have a blast in there. All right. But yeah, guys, please share this content if you found this useful. Share this content if you're going to take some of these trade ideas and use them as your own this week in your own trading. All right. If you know anybody who will benefit from these videos, please share it. Spread the word, guys. I'm going to start trying to, SEO, optimize my channel over here. We're going to start changing the titles. Okay. Thumbnails. I'm going to keep making them. I understand sometimes, guys, the thumbnails, they're just like, oh, new breakout. Oh, Like, guys, you guys don't want to click on, like, I posted something that wasn't, in your face, like, oh, bullish setup, prepare a setup, I posted something on Thursday's video and nobody freaking clicked on the video. I understand I got the regulars here. I appreciate you guys so much. All right. But yeah, new people are not going to click on those videos. So I have to do what I got to do. I promise. I would not be doing it otherwise, but I got to do that. All right. But I also do give a sneak peek to what we cover in the video, because if you see a setup in the thumbnail, we're going to be covering it dang straight in the video. All right, guys. So spread the word. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for spending an hour and 6 minutes with me. And with that being said, everybody have a lovely rest of your weekend and peace.